So you found an investment property using the techniques I show you here on this YouTube channel. What do you do now? What do you do after you find it? Do you go through a bank? Do you do private money? Do you wholesale it? Do you flip it? Do you keep it? What do you do? That's why in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly what to do after you find that investment property. Let's get into it. So the very first thing I want to talk to you about is you need to know what real estate investing strategy you're going to get into, whether that be flips, whether it be the BRRRR method, or if it's just buy and hold, whatever it is, you kind of have to pick one. But depending on each unique deal, you're going to decide if you're going to wholesale it, flip it, or if you're going to keep it and pull out some equity, whatever you're going to do. So it kind of also depends on the type of property that you find. Because if it makes more sense to flip it and then use those proceeds into more deals, obviously if it makes more sense, do it. If you find an off-market property using some of the techniques I show you in my ebook, a link to my ebook is in the description down below if you want to go check that out. But if you find a property like that, if you find an off-market property, one of the best things you can do with that property is seller finance it, meaning that the homeowner, they're gonna be holding the note for you. You can actually start renting out that property. They move out, you rent out that property, and then you keep the difference. Now, obviously there's a lot of things that go into, calculating expenses, knowing the rents for that market, that neighborhood, whatever, that zip code, whatever it is. These are some things that you need to know whenever you're finding off-market properties. So that's why you should subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I teach you everything you need to know about real estate investing. So what if the property, doesn't have a high enough rent? Like, let's just say you do your research and you find out, hey, it only rents for $1,000 and the homeowner wants $1,000 for a seller financing deal. Obviously, it's not gonna make sense to do a seller financing deal. Well, maybe now you can actually buy the property. And there's two ways you can actually go about this, and you're gonna offer a cash deal to the homeowner. And don't worry, you don't have to have all the cash on hand to actually buy this property. So obviously you're gonna offer an all cash offer because you're going to go through a hard money lender, or you have private money, or even if you have your own money, you can offer a cash offer. So what do you do after this? Theoretically, you're gonna be doing this like while you're getting under contract. If you're going to do a flip, you're going to be setting up the contractors, you're going to be setting up your team of people. As soon as you get this property under contract and you close on it, you can go in there, start doing renovations, and you can set up your real estate agents to come in. They can furnish it, they can take professional photos, and they can actually list this on the market. You might be asking yourself, there has to be more things to do. There is, but there isn't. There's decisions to make down the line, but these are the things that you need to have lined up. So if you have a general contractor lined up to do a flip, you're gonna have to make decisions on how much you want to be spending on flooring, how much you want to spend on the kitchen, all these different things. But that happens after you get your general contractor, and they can go in and be like, hey, this is stuff actually needs to be repaired, and you need to know before you even buy the deal what the comps are in the area and what they look like. That way you can actually make that house similar to those, so you can get a reasonable comparable whenever you go to sell the property. Because the worst thing is whenever you're buying a property and you over renovate and you think you're going to be able to get a certain amount, like a certain listing price, and you don't, and you actually start losing money. Another thing you can do with the property is actually just go through a traditional bank. If you have enough for a down payment at 3.5 to 5%, you can live in the property, you can house hack it, or you can even just buy it as a straight investment property for 20-25% down, depending on whatever bank you go to. And if this is the strategy that you're going to do, if this is the path you're going to move forward with, here's some things you want to do after you find a deal like this. Whenever you get the property under contract, get it in writing that it is okay to market this property as your own and get a tenant inside that property. Meaning, my very first deal and every deal after that, as soon as I get the property under contract, I ask them like, hey, can I market this deal? So whenever I actually close on this deal and I'm going to close on it, I can get a tenant in there and I don't start losing money. That's just one thing to do. Another thing you can do after getting a property under contract is setting up your contractors, just like how we just talked about in flips. Get your contractors in there and see what stuff needs to be repaired. And honestly, this is gonna happen either way, because during the inspection period, this is going to happen. You're going to want to get someone in there that can find out what needs to be repaired, because you can actually bring that to the negotiation table while you have the property under contract. And now if your strategy is wholesaling, here's what you're going to do after you get the property under contract. You're going to get a property under contract for less than what you're going to sell it for as a finder's fee to the cash buyer. And this is what you're going to do after you get that property under contract. You're going to get it, let's just say for example, for $100,000, you're going to market that property for $100,000 to like 103, 105, 110, depending on the deal, depending on how juicy this deal is what you're going to, put your finder's fee for. Because if a property is worth $100,000 and only takes $10,000 to repair, the actual cash buyer is going to make 90 grand or whatever it is. You can mark it up a little bit higher because the margins of it are actually a lot higher. So what you're gonna do is you're actually gonna go to Facebook. I talk about this all the time. Literally, go to Facebook, go to any type of real estate investing groups on Facebook. Just literally type real estate investing in a certain city, or even just real estate investing. You can post your deal on there. Say, hey, I have this property under contract for the amount that you want. So if you put the property under contract for $100,000, whatever your finder's fee, add that on top of it, and that's where you're going to market for these cash buyers. And you're gonna get flocks, if it's a juicy enough deal, you're gonna get flocks of people coming in, and they're gonna be wanting to buy that property from you. After you do that, you kind of just sit and wait until the cash buyer actually closes on the deal, and then you make your money. And before anyone goes in the comments saying, James, you're not going into crazy detail, that's right, because that's not the purpose of this video. I make purpose-driven videos for a specific question. Now, if you want to search my entire YouTube channel, I promise you're going to be able to find the question to your answer. And if you don't, let me know that I haven't made a video on that, and I will make it for you. So if your strategy is BRRRR, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat, it's literally verbatim what you're going to do. After you find it, you're going to buy it, whether that be conventional means, as in a traditional mortgage, or you're actually going to get a hard money lender, you're gonna get a private money lender, and you're going to fund the deal that way. Because whenever you go in, you're gonna find a distressed property. Like in my ebook, I actually teach you how to find distressed properties. That, again, that link is gonna be in the description down below if you wanna go check that out. But you're going to find distressed properties, you're going to rehab it. However much rehab it needs, you need to know these numbers. And you're going to need to know those numbers because you can make money on any deal that is off market. And if you want to know how to find those, again, that ebook is going to be in the description down below if you want to check that out. Anyways, back to a BRRRR. You're going to rehab it, then you're going to rent it out, meaning you're going to get a tenant inside the property. You're going to do the same exact method as I taught you. And if you got some value out of that, hit that like button so YouTube can actually share that value with other people. Through a traditional bank, that way you can actually get a tenant in there as soon as you close on that property. Then you're going to refinance. You're going to just call up a bank. You have to hold on to this property after a certain period, and you're going to refinance it, pull money out. You're going to have any money in the deal. Then you're going to repeat. You're going to repeat this process over and over. That's, again, if you're doing the BRRRR method, that's exactly what you're going to do as soon as you find the property. Again, these videos are purpose-driven videos, meaning I'm making videos specific to answer specific questions, because whenever I was just starting out, these weren't out there. Like, whenever I was looking up BRRRR, like the BRRRR method, I had no idea what it was. I had no idea what to do after I found a property. I had no idea, first off, how to find properties off market. It took me a year, but it took me 8 hours a day, every single day for 365 days to actually research different ways to do things. And I'm giving it to you all right here in one YouTube channel. So hit that subscribe button down below, click the bell icon to get notified when I upload a new YouTube video. So I'm gonna pop up some videos right in here that I picked out specifically for you to bring you even more value. So go check those videos out. Until the next video, I'm out. See ya.